The new UAVs of the armed forces of Ukraine now burn the enemy alive in entire units. The Russians are terrified. These Ukrainian drones have been nicknamed Drone Dragon because there is no escape from them, neither in the field, nor in the trench, nor even in the dugout.
The thermite falling from the drone resembles fire bursting from the mouth of a mythical dragon. Hence the name of the drones, writes CNN.
Thermite is the main destructive substance of the new UAVs. By scattering it over enemy positions, our operators set fire to trees and bushes, behind which Russian fighters hide, as well as their equipment, artillery, and fortified areas of the occupiers.
The temperature of this thermite cap is more than 2,500 degrees. It can melt through the hull. It can get into the engine. And then burn it through completely.
Thermite munitions, which our military has begun attaching to drones, according to American analysts, are capable of completely changing the nature of combat along the demarcation line. How is this weapon designed? What targets are the thermite charges of the armed forces of Ukraine capable of destroying? And when will they be used en masse at the front? This is what we'll discuss today in Arsenal. It would be incorrect to call thermite weapons something new. The substance itself was invented at the beginning of the last century. The novelty here is that compact munitions can now be used precisely, with the help of drones, for example, against enemy firing points or along trenches, completely depriving the enemy of the ability to take cover.
The new weapon that has recently emerged on the battlefield is, so to speak, incredibly advanced and highly effective thermite munitions. Thermite is a combat substance known for 120 years, since it was invented. It was widely used during World War II.
The basis of such powerful destructive force lies in a simple chemical reaction between two metals, a mixture of iron oxide and aluminum. When the two components are combined, ignition occurs at a temperature of over 1,000 degrees. Moreover, by adding another component, the mixture becomes several times more dangerous. As the temperature increases, and the deadly cocktail literally scatters in all directions.
If you add an oxidizer based on salt, such as barium nitrate, to this mixture of aluminum and iron oxide, the thermite turns into what is called thermate. Such a mixture already burns with the release of gaseous fire. Moreover, this thermite mixture splatters and scatters, making it more likely to hit the target.
And now, about the ways to use this mixture. So, judging by the available videos from our fighters, there are currently two. This includes the open release of the thermal mixture over Russian positions and the dropping of thermal munitions that precisely destroy specific targets.
Strike drones are our wings of retribution, bringing fire directly from the sky. They become a real threat to the enemy, burning their positions with precision that no other weapon can provide.
When it comes to precise application, it usually involves the deployment of special grenades, such as they are mostly rectangular in shape. This facilitates attachment to the drone and minimizes the chance of the grenade rolling to the side after being dropped.
In the photo, we see new thermite munitions for drones. The casing is similar to the RGD-27 thermobaric grenade, rectangular with a magnetic belt. Everything is as it should be. Now, it is designed to be dropped from regular reusable drones like the Mavic, as well as FPV drones that are used as reusable.
Meanwhile, the thermite packed in the grenade has a much greater destructive power, especially when it comes to enclosed spaces. Essentially, it becomes a thermobaric weapon, whose operating principle is as follows. Upon detonation, the room is instantly filled with clouds of a special aerosol, and a second explosion ignites it. As a result, the damage is caused both by the shock wave and the high temperature.
As a result of this detonation, a shock wave is formed, which begins to spread in the surrounding atmosphere. Following it, the elements of the thermobaric mixture begin to move, reacting with the air as well as with each other. The process here is quite complex. As a result, a certain volume of gases is formed. A cloud with a specific temperature is created. Typically, thermobaric mixtures should have a temperature of around 2400 to 2600 degrees Celsius.
Such an option can be used by the armed forces of Ukraine to destroy fortified enemy structures, experts say. Instead of storming a stronghold for hours, a few drones with such grenades will be enough to completely obliterate any enemy positions in just a matter of minutes.
A thermobaric munition is particularly effective in enclosed spaces. These include pillboxes, bunkers, buildings, and trenches. In open terrain, it is not as effective because the overpressure at the front of the shockwave is somewhat weaker than that of individual explosives.
However, this weapon can be quite effective not only in enclosed spaces. For example, if the defense forces detect a trench or a dugout where several soldiers are concentrated, a thermite munition is also quite appropriate to use.
In a thermobaric munition, if it hits an enclosed space, let's say a trench, then due to the explosion, it starts to flow into the trench or into closed spaces. Here, you can't hide from it around the corner. That is, if it's a fragment, you can hide, and the fragment flies past. But here you can't hide. Moreover, due to the sharp impact of the air shock wave, you also sustain damage not only to your hearing, lungs, and everything else.
A direct hit by a thermite munition on equipment will also cause irreparable damage, as the burning temperature of about 2,500 degrees can burn through any steel, even under a layer of armor.
Thermite munitions are highly effective when striking equipment. Thermite cannot be extinguished with water, nor can it be covered with soil, or it burns completely until the reaction within it is finished. The temperature of this thermite cap is more than 2,500 degrees. It can melt through the side. It can hit the engine and then burn through it completely. It is a very simple and inexpensive weapon.
With such phenomenal effectiveness, analysts cite the cost and simplicity of manufacturing thermite munitions as their main advantage. Without any production lines, they can be mass-produced by the thousands, literally on a small scale. By the way, the principle of operation of thermite munitions is not limited to use only in the form of a grenade or block. By increasing its quantity several times and replacing the drone with a missile, our engineers are quite capable of turning Ukrainian multiple launch rocket systems into a real nightmare for the occupiers.
The thermobaric mixture can be equipped on the same systems that we already have in service. These are, firstly, the GRAD system, the Smerch system. So there's no need to invent anything new here. You just need to change the warhead.
What other weapons would you like to learn about? Be sure to write in the comments under this video, and also don't forget to like it and subscribe to our new Arsenal channel. The link is in the description below the video.